Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Morning Cup of Merch. But today I want to talk to you real quick. So, you know how everybody's always talking about, hey, the political trends are always going. I just never know how to cash in. I don't know who to look for. I don't know what to look for. Well, today on Morning Cup of Merch, I'm going to give a real deep dive in on how you can capitalize and cash in on all those political trends that are coming up. From now till November 2020, you got a chance to make a bunch of money and completely crush it. So, we're going to get into that right now. All right, guys. So one of the things that I always get asked is, Nick, how do you get all these political trends? How do you capitalize on them early? Who do you know that's going to really excel? How do you pick the candidates? Which candidates are off limits? Whatever the case may be. So while I don't have it down to a science, I guess you could say, I do have a pretty good system that's worked for me on most of the political campaigns. Um, T-shirts that I've done. So what I mean by that is I just have certain resources, and that's what we're going to get into today. And I want to start with where you actually source which candidates you're going after. We all know the big one, Trump. Everybody knows this. If you are not done a Trump shirt, you've at least thought about a Trump shirt, you've seen it. Uh, so let me go ahead and get it out of the way now. Please, 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 for Halloween this year, do not do a Trumpkin shirt. It was huge last year. It may be huge again, but there is no way that if you are not the one or two people who capitalize really heavy, and when I say capitalize, I mean down to that, you know, under 10,000 BSR, don't do a Trumpkin shirt. Try something else. But everybody knows that. Now, this is not a video where you're talking about whether you're for or against Trump, whatever the case may be. When we are talking about merch by Amazon and print on demand, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're not liberals, we're not conservatives, we are capitalists. So that's what we're talking about today. And I understand that some people may have a moral dilemma with the fact that, I don't want to do a shirt for this person because I don't support them. That's a decision that you're going to have to make for yourself. Now, what I will say is this. Even though you don't have, I wouldn't suggest if you're starting off in this going for Trump. I just wouldn't. Um, quite frankly, there are so many other candidates. You have to think about it. Right now, in various states, you've got state house representative races going, state senate races going. You've got governors, you've got city council, you got all of this going on from now till November of 2020. You're going to have a primary in August for a lot of states. You have the first set of Democratic primaries for president. I want to say in I can't. I'm not going to give you a wrong date. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of it. But all these things are coming up in the next few months. You got Republican primaries. You got Democratic primaries. You got this November. You got a set of races going on. So I mean, it's so much to do, and I think, excuse me, I think where most people get things wrong is they immediately go for who's on CNN or Fox or MSNBC all the time. The first place you want to start is in your backyard, i.e., your backyard, someone else's backyard, more specifically their front yard. Look and see who has campaign signs out. Um, this will eliminate a lot of competition for you, largely because if I'm in Mississippi and I'm doing a T-shirt for, let's see, Tate Reeves, he's running for governor of Mississippi. Um, yeah, somebody in Idaho's not thinking about that right now. They may be thinking about their own governor or their city council or their district commissioner or their tax assessor or circuit clerk or whatever the case may be. And I understand for a lot of people they may not be as well versed. And I think the advantage that I have a lot of times is that I have a strong background in politics. I, those of you who follow the channel, last year I took like half a year of merch off because I was working several campaigns. It's been kind of my thing since I was a kid. I've always worked campaigns and I just happen to be pretty good at it. So because of that, I think I have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to knowing when election cycles are. But let me go ahead and tell you this now. Cashing in on a political trend is not a once every 4 years thing. It's not every 2 years. There is an election cycle of some sort yearly. You just have to look. Now, one of the places that you should look is look into your city, state, your their website. So if you are the township of such and such, look into that website and you can see upcoming elections. If you're looking for something more of a national scale, then you can look at a website that I go to called Ballotopedia. Let me make sure that I'm saying it right, because at this point it's so ingrained in what I do in my research. I just have to do it. So yeah, Ballotpedia, kind of like Wikipedia, but with ballot. And it can give you a multitude of all the upcoming elections. It can give you a multitude of all the propositions that may be passing. It can give you all the candidates that are there to go, and you can go from there and you can run with it. Now, who is off limits and who is not off limits? Who is off limits are people who are appointed. Case in point, Brett Kavanaugh. Everybody remembers that last year. Brett Kavanaugh was appointed as a Supreme Court justice, not elected. When you are elected, you are a public servant. As an appointed person, he is still a private citizen. So I'll be the first to admit that last July, I did do some Brett Kavanaugh shirts when everything first came out. When I realized what was going on, I went ahead and I took those down. But he gave us a huge gem in September of last year during his Senate hearings, and he said, I like beer. We drank beer. I still like beer. I immediately put a shirt up like that, and it went on the sale. I think I sold maybe 3 or 400 shirts on that. But I mean, it was ridiculous, and I mean, it took off, and it was perfect because it was around Q4. All these different things it just fell into play, and it was absolutely perfect. So Ballotpedia, I would go from that list of candidates there. Now remember this: when they are no longer in office, or they don't win their race, they are again private citizens. So you may have an issue where someone is requesting that you take down your shirts. I think, to be honest, whether it's 2020 or 2024, whatever the case, whenever it happens, the moment Donald Trump leaves office, I'm taking down all my Trump shirts. Because if there's anybody that's enterprising enough to say, okay, let me go ahead and take these shirts down now that I'm a private citizen again, it's President Trump. So I would just keep that in the back of my mind. So in case you want to just blow it out, let me do 10,000 political shirts, and then you got to take down 9,000 of them. Just something to think about. Other than that, really the main point you want to drive in, you don't want to use their official logos. I've seen a lot of people use Joe Biden's official logo. They're going to see takedowns coming from that, because that's that, obviously you don't want to use slogans. Make America great again. No, we know that's a no-no. So things like that. You don't want to use official slogans, official logos. You can use color schemes, but one thing that will be tried and true is red, white, and blue. In any American election, I don't care. If you are putting a shirt up for their supporters, red, white, and blue, and you will not go wrong with it. That is pretty much all I've got for this edition of Morning Cup of Merch. Guys, stay tuned. Take care. Tomorrow I will have the first Merch in a Minute. That's going to be back. So stay tuned for that, and then I will talk to you guys next time.